Hello, teachers. Welcome to Pinder Kinder. I am Heidi Pinder, and I do love to teach kinder, although I have also taught third grade, second grade, first grade, and pre-K. While teaching public school, I have also been teaching virtual ESL classes to students in China for the past 2 years. And this summer, I taught fully virtual summer school to first graders that were heading to second grade. So today, I wanted to share a few things I've learned about connecting with those students. Now, there's lots and lots of online tools that you can use to connect with your students, but that's not what I want to talk about today. Today, I want to talk about things you can do in the real world, whether you're teaching from your classroom or your home. I'm at my home right now, that you can do to connect with your students that are at their homes on their computers. So you've got your space set up. You're ready to go. If you need some tips for that, I have another video. You can look down in the comments and click for that on how to organize and set up your virtual classroom. So your classroom is ready to go, and now you need to connect with your students, because we all know as teachers that the most important thing is the relationship with our students. And we're going to have to put a little bit of extra effort into connecting with our students because they are in one location and we're in another. But I'm here to tell you it's not impossible. I have students in China that I have never met and probably never will that I love, and they love me. And I'm as shocked about it as you are. I have students that I taught this summer for 10 weeks that are my favorites. I love them. They're awesome. And they love me. We've never met. They haven't even met each other. But we bonded and we created a class and we have awesome relationships. And because we did that, they learned a ton. My students in China, they also learn a lot. So let's get started to find out, how can we do that? How can we do that over the computer? Of course, none of us are experts because none of us have done this for very long, but here's a few things that I figured out. Number one, we can do things that we would do in the real world with our students that are online. We can give them a high five. High five, high five. If your district uses Go Noodle, you might even know the songs. Teacher high five, teacher high five. The students love it. So give your students a high five. Have them give you a high five back. Have them give you a fist bump. Fist bumps. Do it. You can use all the hand motions and the signals that you used in your regular classroom with your virtual students. Now, that makes me think of something. We know that eye contact is important. Rather than looking at yourself on the screen or looking at your student on the screen, when you want to make eye contact, look into your camera. Yes, this is important. Maybe practice. Maybe if you're using Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Schoology Conference, whatever you're using, practice with some of your family members or some of your coworkers and try the difference. So here's where I'm looking if I look at myself on the screen. Here's where I'm looking if I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at you. Yes, I'm looking at my students. So make sure you are trying to have eye contact with your students. So we can use our hands, we can use our eyes. Yes, our facial expressions have to be a little bit more exaggerated. That kind of comes naturally to me, but I know you can do it too. So also, we can use games. Old school games work great online. Yes, that's good news for me because I've been teaching for a really long time, and I started teaching in the 1900s. So, Tic-Tac-Toe, we all know it, we all love it. You can do it on a piece of paper. You can do it on a whiteboard. You can draw Tic-Tac-Toe. You can play with an individual. That's reward for them, or the whole class versus you. My class loved playing versus me this summer. You could do it with a small group at the end of a lesson. So you can draw the tic-tac-toe on the whiteboard and play. And in each of the squares, you could put a math problem, a vocabulary word, a sight word. You could do it just like this. Or you can be extra, and you can create a reusable tic-tac-toe board. So here's one I laminated and I printed out, and I have written sight words. So these are kindergarten sight words, and I have put Velcro. So I also, extra, have made lots of Velcro pieces. So I let my student pick. Rainbow is a popular one, the sunshine, surfboard for summer. They like the shark. Then I change them out seasonally. My student gets to pick. For sight words, I often make them read the word, spell the word, use the word in a sentence. They always go first, and then I go next, and the suspense is riveting. Now sometimes we will play and we will stretch it out. If it's class versus me, I will pick students and the whole class, they'll take turns and we'll see who's the winner. So it's the whole class versus me. If it's one student versus me, we might finish the game, but we can also stretch it out, and we'll have it hanging. I'll hang it right here. It's magnetic, and we might take a turn like every 5 minutes or so through a lesson. So you can decide. But you could do this with any subject. Math problems, vocabulary words, just put those in here, and then erase it and use it again the next time. You'd be surprised. They really like it. Another thing you can do with your magnetic board, and this I just got at the Target dollar spot a few years ago with the back to college time. I had a regular magnetic board. I like this one with the frame. It looked a little more homey. Is you can find out something that your students enjoy, and every time someone does something awesome, you hang up a part of the reward. So everybody likes ice cream. So here's the ice cream cone, and then I print it off. And then again, so if you have your Zoom class up, should we do chocolate? Should we do cherry? And then throughout the class, and you could do it, our day is broken into portions or subjects just like in a regular class. You could at the end of each subject. Now you might think, no one wants to do this. I don't know why, but they do, trust me. Often I'll give them 2 choices, and then at the end, do you want a strawberry on top, a cherry on top? Do you want chocolate or vanilla? They like it. Also you can find, and these, you can get these from Google Images. I was a Vipkid teacher. If you go to Google search and you type Vipkid Rewards, there's lots and lots of free things. I had a student that loved Care Bears. So you can, and I wrote the names on the back because I couldn't remember them all. I love a Care Bear. My kids loved a Care Bear, but I couldn't remember them. And so we just add the Care Bears up. And these rewards literally 10 seconds. You do not have to do a lot of time. But it's visual, it reminds them, it gives them just a quick reward. So the last reward, this came from one of my students that was in China, but then my summer school students loved it. This was an exciting reward for them. So my student in China, I always say, what did you do yesterday? What did you do this weekend? And she said, I got something new. It's like water, but it's not water. So I was trying to think, and then I said, slime. And she said, yes, she had gotten some slime. So she got her slime out, and I thought, she might like to see me with some slime. And yes, she did. So what I have learned as a virtual teacher is students love to see their teacher play with slime. And then, of course they do, because if you go on YouTube or TikTok, there are millions of views of people playing with slime. So I got some slime off of Amazon, and I cover my surface area with a cookie sheet, and then I lay down just a paper towel, or you could put plastic wrap, and then I get it out, and I usually save this for the end of the day, and I pull out my slime, and then I let them talk. And you can put this in your plans as a language time, and then we describe it. They ask me questions. My summer school students, they knew about different slime techniques, so I had to look it up, but they loved watching me play with slime. If you are lucky enough to have a document camera, which I do, I also would switch it and they would watch me play with slime under the document camera. I even had them get their science writing notebook out one day and they wrote, and then they drew a picture and they labeled the slime, and then this is scented slime, so I would smell it and they would predict what it smelled like. Oh, also for summer school I have a lab coat. I would put the lab coat on and then I would get the slime. So one thing I've learned from virtual teaching is students like to watch their teachers play with slime and they think it's really fun. So if you would like to connect with your students, remember they love high fives, they like to play tic-tac-toe, they like to earn rewards, and yes, they do like to play with slime. This year is going to be like no other, and sometimes it seems overwhelming, but if you connect with your students and you love your students and you have fun, you're going to have a great year. Happy teaching!